What's going on, guys? This is Cole with MkIII Mechanics here, and gonna try to get a POV video going for you guys. It may not be perfect; it's probably gonna be a little tricky, but see what we can do. So today I'm working on a 2015 Ford Focus. I don't remember exactly what motor it has, but I'll make sure to clarify that later on in the video. And we're doing a starter on it. Again, this is a POV video. I haven't really done any of these. I'm going to try my best to keep everything in screen or camera here, but I can't make any guarantees. So let me try adjusting you guys up real quick here. I'm going to see if I can see my hand. Okay, starter's up here, and this is the area we're going to be working in. Thankfully, it's a pretty accessible starter here. The only thing that I've done off camera is remove the splash shield here. And all that has is a few bolts. We got some T25s and 10mm bolts. That's pretty self-explanatory. But anyways, I'm just going to jump right in and kind of start working. Hopefully you guys can see a little bit and have an idea of what's going on. So first and foremost, the starter's right here, and you can see there's some things in the way. So I'm just going to start by getting us some more space here by unclipping that radiator hose. Might be worth it to unclip this oil pressure sensor hose. Trying to see if you can see that. Okay. This wire harness looks like it was already disconnected. This wire harness was already disconnected. There's a connection up here that might be worth getting off. This is connected to the transmission. It's probably hard for you guys to see, but right there. Just gonna go ahead and try to pry this off. Okay, that's coming out pretty nicely. There we go. So we got all these clips disconnected here. We moved this coolant hose. Other than that, you're going to see this wire harness right here, but that's actually the connections to the starter itself. Before we get too far into this, guys, let me just mention to make sure you have your battery disconnected. If you don't have your battery disconnected, that's going to cause some issues here. So now before I start disconnecting, actually no, the next thing I'm going to do right now is go ahead and disconnect the starter here, or the solenoid, the connections, I should say. So yeah, let's do that first and foremost. Looks like we're going to have a 10 mil and potentially a 14 millimeter. Let me just test this out real quick. My 10 mil is over here. And yep, the smaller one is indeed a 10 millimeter. So as you can see, I'm just going in with my ratchet right there. Now that I broke it loose, I'm going with my hand and just simply twist that off. Okay, and that's pretty much off there. I'll finish it off the rest of the way. Huh. Okay, there's the first wire bolt. That's for the smaller one. And again, that's a 10 millimeter. The next one looks to be a 14, but don't quote me on that. And it's actually a 13, and I'm going to need a shorter socket. So let me go grab my shorter 13 millimeter socket here. There we are. Okay. And the intake is still in the way, it seems like. So what I'll probably, maybe if I get a universal, which I do have right here. And that should help a little bit. Oh. Even better yet, let's go ahead and get an extension. So as you can see here, guys, I'm going to use an extension. with my swivel and my 13. That might help me get on there a little easier. There we go. And then once you loosen it a little bit, you should be able to just kind of loosen it with your hand. Let's see if it's loose enough to get with my hand, and it is. So now I'm just up there loosening it with my fingers. And it wants to stop right there for some reason. Okay, there's my 13 millimeter holding on the other cable. Now that we have both of those off, I believe this should, yeah, there we go. Just go ahead and grab it and pull it out, and that's going to be disconnected. So with that wire harness disconnected, again, that's right there. That gives us even more space. All of this stuff is going to be out of our way. The next thing we need to do is get this 10 millimeter off, or the shield, I should say. There's going to be a 10 millimeter here, and there's going to be another 10 millimeter up on top of the starter. We need to get those off because these 13 millimeter bolts are what's holding on the starter. So again, this 10 millimeter right there, I'm going to use this ratchet right here. This is one of my favorite tools here. And I'm just going to get on it there, and oh, it's already pretty loose. So just like that, remove this 10 millimeter. Simple. And then, like I said, there is going to be another one up here, and that one is going to be a lot harder to get. So let's see. I can definitely see it from back here. I'm just wondering what's the best tool to use. I think I'm just going to grab a smaller 10 mil, another 10 mil, wrench, sorry, not ratchet, ratcheting wrench here. And just try to stick my hand up there. I think that's going to be my easiest bet. It is going to be tight, but you should be able to fit. Right now I'm just kind of going by feel. Sorry you guys can't see. But yeah, I was able to just break it loose, and I'll show you what tool I use afterwards. You can see my arm is just kind of jammed up there. Okay, I've got that 10 millimeter, and the bracket is now off. It seems like there might be something else connected up there that I can't see. Not a bolt or anything, probably just another clip of that wire harness. But, oh, here we go. I don't know why. Oh, there we go. So yeah, here's the bracket. Again, these two 10 millimeter bolts were literally just holding on to those studs, holding that on. This is the 10 millimeter ratchet that I used to get it off. I just kind of went up there with my hand and was able to get there and get it loose. Now that exposes the two bolts holding our starter on. Again, there's one at the top and there's one on the bottom, just like those two 10 mils. I'm assuming these are going to be 13 again. So I do have the wrong ratchet here because I do want to use the same ratchet. So let me just test fit. And yeah, they are 13. So I'm going to go get the same two tools that I used to get the bracket off, except 13 millimeters. So that is going to be this one right here and this 13 millimeter right here. I am going to try to get the top one off first because that is the harder bolt to get to. So I'm just going to do the same thing except with 13 millimeter ratchet. I'm going to go up there, feel along with my hand until I get my ratchet on that stud. And, oh, that one was a little tight. But I'm just going to go ahead and break that loose. And now I'm literally just up there with my left hand and it is finger tight. I'm just loosening it right now. So yeah, this is definitely seeming to be like a pretty simple and easy starter job. There's the bolt there. Now I can get my longer ratchet, get on the bottom bolt, and same thing, just break that loose. And as you can see there, just my hand loosening it out. Now, just to confirm, that's the only, drop that. That's the only bolts holding it on. You can actually look at your new starter here. And yeah, we got the 2 solenoid bolts, solenoid wires off, and the 2 bolts holding it on there. So this starter should now be able to wiggle out of there. And there it goes. So it was on a couple studs. You can see there's a stud right there that was holding it on. And now we're just going to figure out the best route. Oh, and it just comes out nice and easy like that. So yeah, guys, very simple job there, actually. Yeah, I'm super happy with how that ended up turning out. So yeah, just to recap here, guys, we have 2 13 millimeters. These are the main bolts that hold the start. Oh, let me tilt you guys down so you can see better. We have 2 13 millimeter bolts that hold the starter on just like that. On top of those 13 millimeter bolts, we had the metal cover here that was literally just held on by 2 10 millimeter bolts. And other than that, we had the 13 and the 10 millimeter nut holding on the wires. So now that we have that, the old one out, may not be a bad idea to do compare, make sure they're the same. These definitely are looking the same. So we should have no issue there. And now let's go ahead and put this back in. I'm going to show you some light just to show you a better, let me probably tilt this up a little bit. Here's a better idea of the area that we were working in. Right up there, you can see there's a stud there and also a stud up top there. That's where these holes are going to line up. So let's go ahead and get to it. I'm going to feed the new starter up the same way the old one came out. And it should slip in no problem. All right, just like that, there we are. So those studs help you line up the starter. You can see mine are set in on those studs, so we have no issues there. And now I'm gonna go ahead and just retighten up the bolts. I'm gonna do this top 13 millimeter first. And this is kind of just all by feel here. All right, got it in. I'm going ahead and start it with my hand here. Get that started as much as I can. Okay. And just do the same thing with the bottom bolt here. All right, now all I got to do is reverse order, tighten all those up. Let me see if I can try to get you guys more light. What if I do that? I don't know if that helps at all, but maybe better than nothing. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to go ahead and tighten up that top bolt first and foremost. Okay, that top one is nice and tight. Go ahead and do the same thing with the bottom one here. There we are there. Now continue on with our little shield here. Don't know the exact reason for the shield, but want to put everything back the way we took it off. Okay, let me make sure. All right, shield is in place, so I can now go ahead and grab our two 10 millimeters that we're holding that on. One of them is, oh no, there it is. Go ahead and get those started. Just gonna go ahead and try to tighten both of these up at the same time to speed up this process a little bit. Sorry, I know you guys can't see, but got both hands up there. So literally right now I'm tightening both the top and bottom. Okay. Grab my 10 millimeter here. All right, bottom one's tight. Grab my, oh shoot, smaller 10 mil and do the same. All right, there's that. Now, what we got to do is connect our wire harness up here. Try not to drop these bolts, or sorry, these nuts. Okay. So, with our nuts off, let's go ahead. We're going to reroute our wiring just like that. First one. There we go. And our second one. The bottom one had a lock washer, so don't forget about that. So right now I'm going ahead, lock washer's on. I can just go ahead with the nut like so. Oh, this one's going to be a little harder to get on. Okay, there we go. That started. Now all we need to do there is just tighten both of those up, reconnect all of our connectors that we disconnected, and we should be good to go. All right. And there we are. Top one is tight. Just gonna go ahead and tighten the bottom one, the smaller 10 mil here. Perfect. Now, like I said, guys, all I've got to do is kind of go back, plug in anything we unplugged. Right now I'm working on the oil pressure sensor. Reconnect all of our little connections here in the places that they were going. And voila. That is the starter on a 2015 Ford Focus. I believe this is a 2-liter, but I'll make sure to go ahead and confirm that. Everything's reconnected there. No issues whatsoever. Okay. That's it. Thanks for watching, guys.